This is Mental Forge, where weakness burns and warriors are built. Imagine for a moment that you could wake up tomorrow morning with the absolute unshakable certainty that money flows to you as naturally as air flows into your lungs. Picture yourself moving through your day with the quiet confidence of someone who knows, beyond any shadow of doubt, that abundance is not something you chase, but something that seeks you out. What would that feel like? How would you walk? How would you speak? How would you make decisions? This is not fantasy. This is not wishful thinking. This is the lived reality of those who have discovered one of the most profound secrets of wealth creation. They have learned to act as if money flows to them naturally, and in doing so, they have created the very conditions that make this belief a tangible, measurable reality. Today, we are going to explore this transformative principle together. By the time we finish this journey, you will understand not just how to think differently about money, but how to become the kind of person to whom money naturally gravitates. You will learn to rewire your subconscious mind, eliminate the fear-based thinking that repels abundance, and step into the identity of someone who expects prosperity as their natural state. The ancient philosopher Aristotle once said that we are what we repeatedly do. Excellence, he taught, is not an act but a habit. The same principle applies to wealth. Abundance is not an accident. It is the natural result of consistently thinking, feeling, and acting like someone who expects money to flow into their life with ease and regularity. But here is where most people go wrong. They try to act wealthy before they feel wealthy. They buy things they cannot afford, speak in ways that feel inauthentic, or adopt behaviors that conflict with their deepest beliefs about themselves. This creates internal resistance, and the universe responds to that resistance by withholding the very thing they desire most. True abundance begins from the inside out. It starts with a fundamental shift in identity, a complete rewiring of how you see yourself in relationship to money and success. When you truly act as if money flows to you naturally, you are not pretending, you are becoming. You are aligning your thoughts, emotions, and actions with the version of yourself who has already achieved the financial freedom you desire. Let me share with you the story of a man who understood this principle better than perhaps anyone in history. His name was Andrew Carnegie, and he became one of the wealthiest individuals who ever lived. But Carnegie did not start with money. He started as a poor immigrant boy from Scotland, working in a cotton factory for $1.20 a week. What separated Carnegie from every other poor immigrant was not his circumstances, but his mindset. Carnegie had an unusual habit. Every morning, he would stand in front of a mirror and speak to himself as if he were already the successful businessman he intended to become. He did not say, "I hope to be wealthy," or "maybe someday I will succeed." He spoke with absolute certainty about his current reality, even when that reality existed only in his imagination. He would say things like, "I am building an empire that will transform American industry, and money flows to me because I create value for others." His friends thought he was delusional. His family worried about his sanity. But Carnegie understood something they did not. He knew that the subconscious mind cannot distinguish between what is real and what is vividly imagined. By consistently acting as if his success was already guaranteed, he was programming his unconscious mind to seek out opportunities, make connections, and take actions that would make his vision a reality. This is the power of acting as if. When you truly embody the identity of someone to whom money flows naturally, your brain begins to filter information differently. You start noticing opportunities that were always there but previously invisible to you. You begin attracting people who can help you succeed. You make decisions from a place of abundance rather than scarcity, and those decisions create entirely different results. The neuroscience behind this principle is fascinating. Your brain contains something called the reticular activating system, or RAS. This is the part of your mind that determines what information gets through to your conscious awareness. Right now, your RAS is filtering millions of pieces of information, allowing only a tiny fraction to reach your conscious mind. But here is the crucial point. Your RAS filters information based on what you believe is important to you. When you act as if money flows to you naturally, you are literally reprogramming your RAS to notice money-making opportunities, potential mentors, valuable connections, and innovative solutions to problems. People who struggle financially have trained their RAS to focus on obstacles, limitations, and reasons why success is impossible. People who attract wealth naturally have trained their RAS to focus on possibilities, resources, and paths to prosperity. This is why two people can attend the same networking event, hear the same speakers, and meet the same people, yet have completely different outcomes. The person who acts as if money flows naturally notices the one comment that sparks a million-dollar idea. They remember the business card that leads to a life-changing partnership. They follow up on the conversation that opens doors to unlimited opportunity. The person operating from scarcity mindset hears only confirmation that the market is too competitive, money is too hard to make, and success is reserved for other people. But acting as if money flows naturally requires more than just positive thinking. It requires a complete transformation of your relationship with money itself. Most people have been conditioned to see money as scarce, difficult to obtain, and somehow morally questionable. They carry unconscious beliefs like, money is the root of all evil, or wealthy people are greedy, or if I succeed, someone else must fail. These limiting beliefs create internal conflict that sabotages every effort to build wealth. You cannot attract something you secretly fear or despise. You cannot become someone you unconsciously judge. Before you can act as if money flows naturally, you must heal your relationship with money and develop what Napoleon Hill called a money consciousness. Napoleon Hill spent 25 years studying the most successful people of his era, including Andrew Carnegie, Henry Ford, Thomas Edison, and Theodore Roosevelt. In his masterwork, Think and Grow Rich, Hill identified 13 principles that separate those who struggle financially from those who build lasting wealth. But underneath all 13 principles was one fundamental truth. Successful people think about money differently than unsuccessful people. Hill discovered that wealthy individuals do not see money as an end in itself, but as a tool for creating value, serving others, and expressing their highest potential. They understand that money is simply a medium of exchange, a way of measuring the value they provide to the world. When you adopt this perspective, the act of earning money becomes an act of service rather than selfishness. This shift in perspective is crucial because it removes the guilt, fear, and internal resistance that prevents most people from accumulating wealth. When you truly understand that your financial success allows you to help more people, support more causes, and make a greater positive impact on the world, pursuing money becomes not just acceptable but morally imperative. Let me share another powerful example from history. John D. Rockefeller, who became the wealthiest person in modern history, understood this principle intuitively. From his earliest days as a bookkeeper earning $16 a month, Rockefeller acted as if abundance was his natural state. But his abundance consciousness was not rooted in greed or selfishness. It was rooted in service and stewardship. Rockefeller believed that God had given him a talent for organizing business and creating value for others. He saw his wealth not as something he owned, but as something he was temporarily managing on behalf of humanity. This perspective allowed him to pursue financial success without guilt or internal conflict. He could act as if money flowed naturally because he genuinely believed that his success served a higher purpose. Throughout his life, Rockefeller gave away more than $500 million to education, medical research, and humanitarian causes. His foundations continue to improve lives around the world more than a century after his death. This is the paradox of true wealth consciousness. The more genuinely you desire to serve others, the more naturally money flows to you. But how do you cultivate this mindset in practical terms? How do you transform from someone who struggles with money to someone who naturally attracts abundance? The answer lies in a systematic approach to rewiring your subconscious programming and developing new habits of thought, emotion, and action. The first step is to identify and eliminate the limiting beliefs that are currently blocking your financial success. Most of these beliefs were formed in childhood, often before you were 7 years old, when your brain was operating primarily in theta and delta wave, states that made you extraordinarily susceptible to programming from your environment. Perhaps you heard your parents arguing about money, creating an unconscious association between money and conflict. Maybe you were told that money doesn't grow on trees, or we can't afford that. So many times that scarcity became your default expectation. Or possibly you absorbed religious or cultural messages that made you believe wealthy people are somehow less virtuous than poor people. These beliefs live in your subconscious mind, where they operate automatically and unconsciously, shaping your decisions, your emotions, and your actions in ways you might not even recognize. But here is the empowering truth. Any belief that was programmed into your subconscious can be reprogrammed with consistent, focused effort. The most effective way to reprogram limiting beliefs is through a combination of conscious reasoning and repetitive emotional conditioning. You must first intellectually understand why your limiting beliefs are false. Then emotionally experience new beliefs until they become your natural, automatic response. Start by writing down every negative belief you have about money, wealthy people, or your own ability to succeed financially. Be brutally honest with yourself. Write down thoughts like, "I'm not smart enough to be wealthy," or "People like me don't become millionaires," or "If I focus too much on money, I'll become a bad person." Next to each limiting belief, write a more empowering truth. For example, if you wrote, "I'm not smart enough to be wealthy," you might counter with, "Intelligence comes in many forms, and I have unique talents and perspectives that create value for others." If you wrote, "People like me don't become millionaires," you might respond with, "People from every background, education level, and starting point have created extraordinary wealth by providing value to others." But simply writing new beliefs is not enough. You must emotionally experience these new beliefs until they feel as real and natural as your old limitations once did. This requires what psychologists call emotional reconditioning. And it is one of the most powerful tools for personal transformation ever discovered. Every morning for the next 30 days, read your new empowering beliefs out loud with genuine emotion and conviction. Do not just recite words, feel the truth of what you are saying. Imagine how your life will change as these beliefs become your reality. Picture yourself making decisions from this new mindset. Visualize yourself acting with the confidence and certainty of someone who knows money flows naturally. As you do this exercise consistently, you will notice something remarkable happening. The new beliefs will begin to feel more natural and automatic. You will catch yourself thinking differently about opportunities, challenges, and possibilities. Your emotional reactions to money-related situations will shift from anxiety and scarcity to excitement and abundance. This transformation happens because of a principle called neuroplasticity. Your brain is constantly rewiring itself based on your repeated thoughts and experiences. Every time you consciously choose an empowering thought over a limiting one, you strengthen neural pathways associated with abundance and weaken pathways associated with scarcity. But reprogramming your beliefs is only the beginning. To truly act as if money flows naturally, you must also develop the daily habits and practices that successful people use to maintain their abundance consciousness. This includes specific morning routines, visualization exercises, and decision-making frameworks that keep you aligned with your highest financial potential. If you're finding value in this content and want to continue transforming your relationship with money, I encourage you to subscribe to this channel. We regularly share advanced strategies for wealth building, mindset transformation, and personal development that you won't find anywhere else. Your subscription helps us create more content like this that can genuinely change your financial future. One of the most powerful daily practices for developing abundance consciousness is what I call acting as if visualization. This goes beyond simple positive thinking or wishful dreaming. This is a systematic mental rehearsal that programs your subconscious mind for success while training your conscious mind to recognize and seize opportunities. Every morning, preferably before you check your phone or engage with the outside world, spend 15 to 20 minutes in deep visualization. Find a quiet place where you will not be disturbed. Sit comfortably, close your eyes, and begin to breathe slowly and deeply. Allow your mind and body to relax completely. Now, begin to imagine yourself already living as someone to whom money flows naturally. See yourself waking up in your ideal home, feeling completely secure and abundant. Notice how this version of yourself moves through the world. What do you wear? How do you carry yourself? What kind of energy do you project? Visualize yourself making financial decisions from a place of abundance rather than scarcity. See yourself investing in opportunities that excite you rather than holding back from fear. Imagine yourself being generous with others because you know there is always more than enough. Picture yourself creating value for others and being rewarded abundantly for that value. The key to effective visualization is engaging all of your senses and emotions. Do not just see these images in your mind. Feel the emotions of success, abundance, and contribution. Hear the sounds of your ideal lifestyle. Smell the air in your dream home. Touch the materials that represent success to you. The more vivid and multisensory your visualization, the more powerfully it programs your subconscious mind. As you practice this daily visualization, you are literally rehearsing success in your mind. You are training your brain to expect abundance as your natural state. You are programming your nervous system to feel comfortable with the emotions and experiences associated with wealth. When opportunities arise in your external world, you will be mentally and emotionally prepared to recognize and act on them. But visualization without action is merely daydreaming. To truly act as if money flows naturally, you must also begin making decisions and taking actions that align with your new identity. This means examining every area of your life and asking yourself, how would someone who naturally attracts money handle this situation? This question becomes a powerful filter for decision-making. When faced with a choice between watching television and reading a book that could expand your knowledge, ask yourself how someone who naturally attracts money would spend their time. When deciding whether to attend a networking event or stay home because you are tired, consider what choice aligns with your new identity. When you consistently make decisions from the perspective of someone who naturally attracts abundance, you begin to develop what psychologists call cognitive consistency. Your thoughts, emotions, and actions become aligned around a single identity and set of values. This alignment creates enormous personal power and effectiveness. Consider the story of Oprah Winfrey, who exemplifies the principle of acting as if money flows naturally. Oprah was born into poverty in rural Mississippi, raised by a teenage mother, and faced countless obstacles that could have justified a scarcity mindset. But from her earliest days, Oprah acted as if she was destined for greatness and abundance. Even as a child, Oprah would pretend to interview her corncob dolls, acting as if she were already the media mogul she would eventually become. As a teenager working in local radio, she approached her job with the professionalism and dedication of someone who knew she was destined for national prominence. Throughout her career, she made decisions based not on her current circumstances, but on her vision of her highest potential. This mindset allowed Oprah to recognize and seize opportunities that others missed. When she was offered the chance to host a morning talk show in Chicago, many people saw it as a risky move that could damage her news career. But Oprah acted as if she was meant to connect with people and create positive change through media. She approached the talk show opportunity with absolute confidence and commitment, transforming it into one of the most successful programs in television history. Oprah's success was not accidental. It was the natural result of consistently thinking, feeling, and acting like someone who was destined to make a massive positive impact on the world while building enormous wealth in the process. She understood that money would flow naturally to her because she was committed to serving others at the highest level. This brings us to one of the most important aspects of acting, as if money flows naturally. Understanding that wealth is always the byproduct of value creation. Money does not flow to people randomly or unfairly. Money flows to those who solve problems, meet needs, and improve the lives of others. The more value you create, the more money you naturally attract. This principle was understood perfectly by Henry Ford, who revolutionized not just the automobile industry, but the entire concept of manufacturing and wealth creation. Ford did not start with money or connections or special advantages. He started with a vision of creating affordable transportation that would improve the lives of ordinary people. Ford acted as if his success was inevitable because he knew he was solving a genuine problem that millions of people faced. He understood that if he could create a reliable, affordable automobile, money would naturally flow to him as a reward for the value he provided. This certainty allowed him to persist through years of failures, setbacks, and criticism from people who thought his vision was impossible. When Ford finally perfected the Model T and the assembly line production process, money did indeed flow to him naturally. But it was not because he got lucky or manipulated the system. It was because he had created enormous value for society, and money simply followed that value creation. This is the mindset you must develop if you want money to flow to you naturally. Stop thinking of wealth as something you get from others, and start thinking of it as something you create for others. Ask yourself constantly, how can I solve problems that people are willing to pay to have solved? How can I meet needs that are currently unmet? How can I make people's lives better, easier, or more enjoyable? When you approach wealth from this service-oriented perspective, the entire dynamic changes. You are no longer trying to extract money from an unwilling world. You are offering value that people eagerly want to exchange money for. You are not competing against others for a limited supply of wealth. You are creating new wealth by creating new value. This mindset shift eliminates the guilt, fear, and internal resistance that sabotages most people's financial success. When your wealth comes from serving others, you can pursue money with complete moral clarity and emotional alignment. You can act as if money flows naturally because you know that your success genuinely benefits everyone involved. But creating value requires developing valuable skills, knowledge, and capabilities. This means committing to lifelong learning and continuous improvement. People who naturally attract money are always growing, always learning, always expanding their ability to contribute to others. Make a commitment today to invest at least 1 hour every day in developing skills that increase your value in the marketplace. This might mean reading books related to your field, taking online courses, attending seminars, or finding mentors who can accelerate your learning. The specific activity matters less than the consistency and quality of your commitment to growth. Remember that in our modern economy, knowledge and skills become obsolete quickly. What made you valuable 5 years ago might not make you valuable today. The people who thrive financially are those who adapt quickly to changing conditions and continuously upgrade their capabilities. This is why successful people are usually voracious learners. Warren Buffett, one of the wealthiest people in history, spends 5 to 6 hours every day reading financial reports, newspapers, and books. Bill Gates takes 2 weeks every year to read and think about emerging trends that might affect his investments and philanthropic activities. Jeff Bezos built Amazon by constantly learning about new technologies and customer needs. These individuals act as if money flows naturally because they know they are continuously increasing their ability to create value for others. They invest in their own development with the same discipline and focus that they invest in their businesses and portfolios. As you develop this learning mindset, you will notice that opportunities begin to appear more frequently in your life. This is not coincidence. This is the natural result of expanding your knowledge and capabilities. The more you know, and the more you can do, the more ways you can create value, and the more natural it becomes for money to flow in your direction. But knowledge without application is worthless. You must also develop the courage and discipline to act on your expanding knowledge. This means being willing to take calculated risks, start new projects, and put yourself in situations where you might fail but also might succeed dramatically. Fear of failure is one of the biggest obstacles to financial success. Most people avoid opportunities because they focus on what they might lose rather than what they might gain. But people who naturally attract money understand that failure is simply feedback, and feedback is essential for learning and improvement. Thomas Edison, who became wealthy by inventing solutions to problems that millions of people faced, understood this principle perfectly. When asked about his thousands of failed attempts to create a practical light bulb, Edison replied that he had not failed thousands of times. He had successfully discovered thousands of ways that did not work, bringing him closer to the solution that would work. Edison acted as if his success was inevitable because he knew that persistent experimentation would eventually lead to breakthrough discoveries. He was not afraid of failure because he understood that each failure taught him something valuable that increased his chances of future success. This is the mindset you must develop if you want money to flow to you naturally. See failure not as something to be avoided, but as tuition paid to the University of Experience. Every setback teaches you something that makes you more valuable and more capable of creating success in the future. Start taking more calculated risks in your financial life. This does not mean being reckless or gambling with money you cannot afford to lose. It means being willing to invest time, energy, and resources in opportunities that could significantly improve your financial situation, even if success is not guaranteed. Perhaps this means starting a side business while keeping your regular job. Maybe it means investing in your education or developing new skills that could lead to better career opportunities. It might mean networking with people who operate at a higher financial level than you currently do. Or it could mean creating products or services that solve problems you have identified in your own life or community. The specific opportunity matters less than your willingness to act despite uncertainty. People who naturally attract money are comfortable with uncertainty because they know that uncertainty is where opportunity lives. They act as if success is inevitable, not because they know exactly how things will work out, but because they trust their ability to adapt, learn, and create value regardless of circumstances. This brings us to another crucial aspect of acting, as if money flows naturally, developing absolute clarity about your financial goals and the lifestyle you want to create. Most people have vague wishes about being wealthy or successful, but they have never clearly defined what those terms mean to them personally. Without clear goals, you cannot act as if you are moving toward them. Without a specific vision of your ideal financial future, you cannot program your subconscious mind to seek opportunities that align with that future. Vague goals produce vague results. Specific goals produce specific results. Take time right now to write down exactly what financial success means to you. How much money do you want to earn each year? How much do you want to have saved and invested? What kind of home do you want to live in? What experiences do you want to have? How do you want to contribute to others? Be as specific as possible. Instead of writing, "I want to be wealthy," write, "I want to earn $500,000 per year and have $2 million invested by the time I am 50 years old." Instead of, "I want a nice house," write, "I want a 4-bedroom home with a view of the mountains and a pool where my family can create memories together." The more specific your vision, the more powerfully it programs your subconscious mind, and the more naturally you can act as if you are moving toward it. Specific goals also help you make better decisions because you can evaluate every opportunity against your clearly defined objectives. Once you have clarified your financial goals, create what I call a wealth timeline. This is a detailed plan that shows how you will progress from your current financial situation to your ultimate objectives. Break your long-term goals into smaller, achievable milestones that you can work toward over the next 1, 3, 5, and 10 years. For example, if your ultimate goal is to have $2 million invested by age 50, and you are currently 30 with $10,000 saved, you need to save and invest approximately $190,000 over the next 20 years. This means you need to increase your savings and investment by approximately $9,500 per year, or about $800 per month. When you break down large goals into specific action steps, they become much more achievable and much less overwhelming. You can act as if your success is inevitable because you have a clear roadmap showing exactly how to get there. But having a plan is not enough. You must also develop the daily disciplines and habits that will ensure you follow through on your plan consistently over time. Success is not the result of occasional bursts of motivation or effort. Success is the result of small, consistent actions repeated over months and years. This is where most people fail in their wealth-building efforts. They start with enthusiasm and good intentions, but they lack the discipline to maintain their efforts when motivation fades or obstacles arise. They act as if success should come quickly and easily, and when it does not, they give up and return to their old patterns. People who naturally attract money understand that wealth building is a marathon, not a sprint. They develop what I call compound discipline, the ability to maintain productive habits even when they do not feel like it, even when progress seems slow, and even when other people question their commitment. Compound discipline works the same way as compound interest. Small, consistent actions might not seem significant in the short term, but over time they create enormous results. Reading 15 minutes per day might not seem like much, but over a year, it equals 91 hours of learning. Saving $50 per month might not feel significant, but invested with compound growth over 30 years, it becomes more than $100,000. The key to developing compound discipline is to start with habits that are so small and manageable that you cannot fail to do them consistently. Instead of trying to save $500 per month immediately, start by saving $25 per month. Instead of trying to read for 2 hours every day, start with 15 minutes. Instead of trying to exercise for an hour daily, start with 10 minutes. These small habits might seem insignificant, but they serve a crucial psychological function. They prove to yourself that you are someone who follows through on commitments. They build what psychologists call self-efficacy, the belief that you are capable of achieving your goals through your own efforts. As you consistently maintain small habits, you can gradually increase their intensity and scope. The person who saves $25 per month for 6 months develops the identity and confidence to save $50 per month. The person who reads for 15 minutes daily develops the habit and hunger to read for 30 minutes daily. This gradual progression allows you to act as if financial success is inevitable, because you are proving to yourself every day that you have the discipline and commitment to achieve your goals. Your confidence grows not from positive thinking, but from positive action and consistent results. Throughout this process, it is crucial to surround yourself with people who support and reinforce your new identity as someone who naturally attracts money. Your environment has an enormous influence on your thoughts, emotions, and behaviors. If you spend time with people who complain about money, criticize wealthy people, or accept financial mediocrity as normal, their mindset will unconsciously influence yours. Seek out relationships with people who have achieved the kind of financial success you desire, or who are at least committed to the same journey of growth and abundance. This might mean joining investment clubs, attending entrepreneurship meetups, or finding online communities of like-minded individuals. When you cannot find these relationships in your immediate environment, create them through books, podcasts, and educational content. Spend time every day consuming content created by people who think about money the way you want to think about money. Let their mindset and energy influence your own thoughts and emotions. I want to pause here and remind you that if this content is helping you shift your relationship with money, subscribing to this channel is one of the best ways to continue your transformation. We consistently share strategies and insights that can accelerate your journey to financial freedom. Your subscription also helps us reach more people who can benefit from this life-changing information. One of the most powerful ways to act as if money flows naturally is to begin giving money away before you feel like you can afford to do so. This might seem counterintuitive, but generosity is one of the strongest signals you can send to your subconscious mind that you live in an abundant universe. When you give money away, even small amounts, you are acting from abundance rather than scarcity. You are demonstrating to yourself and the universe that you trust money to continue flowing into your life. This act of faith strengthens your abundance consciousness and attracts more opportunities for receiving. Start by committing to give away a specific percentage of every dollar you earn, regardless of how much or how little that might be. This could be 5%, 10%, or whatever feels challenging but manageable for you. The amount matters less than the consistency and the mindset behind the giving. Choose causes or organizations that genuinely inspire you and align with your values. When you give to something you care deeply about, the act of giving generates positive emotions that reinforce your abundance consciousness. You begin to see yourself not as someone who hoards money from fear, but as someone who uses money to create positive change in the world. This principle was understood deeply by John Templeton, who became one of the most successful investors in history, while also giving away hundreds of millions of dollars to educational and spiritual causes. Templeton believed that generosity was not just morally right, but strategically wise. He understood that generous people attract opportunities, relationships, and resources that selfish people repel. Templeton acted as if money flowed naturally, because he knew that his wealth was meant to serve purposes larger than his own comfort and security. This perspective freed him from the fear and greed that cause most investors to make poor decisions. He could think clearly and objectively about financial opportunities because his identity was not threatened by temporary losses or setbacks. This is another crucial aspect of acting as if money flows naturally, developing emotional detachment from specific financial outcomes while maintaining complete commitment to the process of value creation. When you are emotionally desperate for money, you make poor decisions because fear and desperation cloud your judgment. But when you act as if money flows naturally, you can evaluate opportunities objectively. You can negotiate from strength rather than weakness. You can walk away from deals that do not serve your long-term interests. You can take calculated risks without being paralyzed by the fear of loss. This emotional detachment comes from having what Stephen Covey called an abundance mentality. People with abundance mentality believe there are enough opportunities, resources, and success to go around for everyone. They do not see other people's success as a threat to their own success. They genuinely celebrate when others achieve their goals because they know that success breeds more success. People with scarcity mentality believe that success is a zero-sum game. They think that if someone else gets wealthy, there is less wealth available for them. They feel threatened by other people's success and often try to tear down those who achieve what they desire. This mindset creates internal conflict and external resistance that blocks the flow of abundance. Which mentality do you currently operate from? When you hear about someone else's financial success, do you feel inspired and motivated, or do you feel jealous and resentful? Your honest answer to this question reveals whether you are currently aligned with abundance or scarcity consciousness. If you discover that you have been operating from scarcity mentality, do not judge yourself harshly. Most people are conditioned from childhood to see the world through the lens of limitation and competition. But awareness is the first step toward transformation. Once you recognize scarcity thinking, you can consciously choose more empowering perspectives. Begin celebrating other people's success as evidence that abundance is possible and available. When you hear about someone starting a successful business, think, if they can do it, I can do it too. When you learn about someone making a great investment, think, there are opportunities like that available to me as well. When you meet someone who has achieved financial freedom, think, I can learn from their example and apply their strategies to my own situation. This shift in perspective transforms your emotional relationship with success and abundance. Instead of feeling excluded from prosperity, you begin to feel included in it. Instead of seeing wealthy people as fundamentally different from you, you begin to see them as examples of what is possible for anyone who applies the right principles consistently. This brings us to one of the most important historical examples of acting as if money flows naturally. The story of Benjamin Franklin, who rose from poverty to become one of the wealthiest and most influential people in colonial America. Franklin understood that wealth was not determined by birth, luck, or circumstances, but by character, discipline, and consistent application of proven principles. As a young man, Franklin created what he called his 13 virtues, character traits that he believed would lead to success and happiness. These included industry, frugality, sincerity, justice, and moderation. Every day, Franklin would focus on one of these virtues, examining his thoughts and actions to see how well he was embodying that quality. Franklin acted as if success was inevitable because he knew he was systematically developing the character traits that successful people possess. He did not wait for external circumstances to change. He focused on changing himself from the inside out, knowing that external success would naturally follow internal development. This approach allowed Franklin to succeed in multiple fields, as a printer, writer, inventor, diplomat, and investor. He understood that the same character traits that made him successful in one area would make him successful in any area he chose to focus on. His wealth flowed naturally because it was built on a foundation of value creation, ethical behavior, and service to others. Franklin also understood the power of what he called compound industry, the idea that small, consistent efforts compound over time to create extraordinary results. He famously said that, "A penny saved is a penny earned," not because he was cheap or miserly, but because he understood that money saved and invested creates more money through the power of compound growth. This principle is even more powerful today than it was in Franklin's time. With modern investment vehicles and global markets, relatively small amounts of money can grow into substantial wealth over time if invested wisely and consistently. But most people never experience this compound growth because they lack the discipline to save and invest regularly. Acting as if money flows naturally means developing the long-term perspective that allows you to delay immediate gratification for greater future benefits. It means choosing to invest money today that you could spend on immediate pleasures, knowing that this invested money will create much greater purchasing power in the future. This requires what psychologists call temporal discounting, the ability to value future rewards more highly than immediate ones. People who struggle financially tend to overvalue immediate rewards and undervalue future ones. People who build wealth naturally tend to do the opposite. You can develop this skill by regularly visualizing your future self and the lifestyle you want to create. When faced with a choice between spending money now and investing it for the future, ask yourself which choice your future self would thank you for making. This simple question helps you make decisions from a long-term perspective rather than being driven by immediate impulses. Another powerful practice is to calculate the true cost of your spending decisions in terms of their future value. Before making any significant purchase, calculate how much that money would be worth if invested for 10, 20, or 30 years instead. This does not mean you should never spend money on things you enjoy, but it helps you make conscious choices about when spending is truly worth the opportunity cost. For example, a $5 coffee every day costs approximately $1,800 per year. If that money were invested at 8% annual returns for 30 years, it would grow to approximately $180,000. This does not mean you should never buy coffee, but it helps you understand the real cost of your spending habits. When you truly understand these numbers, you begin to act as if money flows naturally because you realize how powerful consistent saving and investing can be. You stop seeing wealth building as impossibly difficult and start seeing it as the natural result of making better choices consistently over time. But building wealth is not just about saving and investing money. It is also about investing in yourself, developing the skills, knowledge, relationships, and reputation that increase your earning potential over time. The most successful people understand that their greatest asset is not their bank account, but their ability to create value for others. This is why wealthy people often continue working long after they have enough money to retire comfortably. They understand that their work is not just about earning money, but about expressing their highest potential and making their greatest contribution to the world. Consider the example of Sam Walton, who built Walmart into the largest retailer in the world. Even after becoming one of the richest people in America, Walton continued to work with the same passion and intensity he had shown as a struggling young entrepreneur. He understood that his wealth was not an end in itself, but a tool that allowed him to serve more customers, create more jobs, and have a greater positive impact on society. Walton acted as if money flowed naturally because he focused on creating value rather than extracting profit. He obsessed over finding ways to offer customers better products at lower prices. He invested heavily in technology and systems that made his stores more efficient. He treated his employees as partners in building something meaningful rather than just workers to be managed. This service-oriented approach to wealth creation is what separates those who build lasting abundance from those who achieve temporary success. When your wealth is built on genuinely serving others, it becomes sustainable and naturally self-reinforcing. People want to do business with you because you consistently deliver value. Employees want to work with you because you create opportunities for their own growth and success. Investors want to support you because your success benefits everyone involved. But serving others at the highest level requires continuously developing yourself. You cannot give what you do not have. You cannot teach what you do not know. You cannot inspire others to achieve greatness if you are not committed to your own excellence and growth. This means treating your personal development like the most important investment you will ever make. Read books that expand your thinking and challenge your assumptions. Attend seminars and workshops that expose you to new ideas and successful people. Find mentors who have achieved what you want to achieve and are willing to share their wisdom and experience. Most importantly, develop the daily habits and routines that successful people use to maintain their peak performance and continued growth. This includes physical habits like exercise and proper nutrition that keep your energy and focus at optimal levels. It includes mental habits like meditation, journaling, and strategic planning that keep your thinking clear and purposeful. It includes emotional habits like gratitude, generosity, and celebration that keep your spirit positive and resilient. These habits might seem unrelated to money, but they are actually the foundation of all lasting success. When you feel good physically, think clearly mentally, and maintain positive emotions, you naturally make better decisions, recognize more opportunities, and attract more supportive relationships. Money flows naturally to people who operate at their highest level consistently. The key is to design your daily routine around the person you want to become rather than the person you currently are. Ask yourself, how would someone who naturally attracts money structure their day? What would they do first thing in the morning? How would they spend their evenings? What would they prioritize during their most productive hours? Then begin implementing those habits immediately, even if they feel uncomfortable or unnatural at first. Remember that all growth happens outside your comfort zone. The habits that will create your ideal future are probably different from the habits that created your current situation. One of the most powerful morning habits you can develop is what I call abundance programming. This is a 15 to 20-minute practice that programs your subconscious mind for wealth and success while preparing your conscious mind to recognize and act on opportunities throughout the day. Begin by reading your financial goals and visualizing them as already achieved. Feel the emotions of success, contribution, and abundance. See yourself living the lifestyle you desire while creating value for others. Experience the satisfaction of being financially free while helping others achieve their own dreams and goals. Next, write down 3 specific actions you will take that day to move closer to your financial objectives. These might be learning activities, relationship-building activities, or direct money-making activities. The important thing is that they align with your long-term vision and demonstrate your commitment to consistent progress. Finally, write down 3 things you are grateful for in your current financial situation. This might seem difficult if you are struggling with money, but gratitude is essential for maintaining abundance consciousness. You might be grateful for the job that pays your bills, the roof over your head, or simply the opportunity to improve your situation through your own efforts. This gratitude practice keeps you focused on what you have rather than what you lack. It maintains positive emotions that attract opportunities and relationships. Most importantly, it demonstrates to your subconscious mind that you appreciate abundance, which makes it more likely that abundance will continue and increase in your life. As you practice this morning routine consistently, you will notice remarkable changes in how you think, feel, and act throughout the day. You will find yourself naturally gravitating toward activities and opportunities that support your financial goals. You will make decisions more quickly and confidently because you are clear about your objectives and committed to achieving them. But morning routines are just the beginning. To truly act as if money flows naturally, you must also develop what I call abundance awareness, the ability to notice and act on money-making opportunities that exist all around you, all the time. Most people miss countless opportunities because they are focused on problems, limitations, and obstacles. They see the world through the filter of scarcity, which blinds them to the abundance that surrounds them. But when you act as if money flows naturally, you train yourself to see possibilities, resources, and solutions wherever you look. Start by asking yourself different questions throughout the day. Instead of, "Why is this so difficult?" ask, "How can I make this easier?" Instead of, "Why can't I afford this?" ask, "How can I create the money to buy this?" Instead of, "Why do other people have more success than me?" ask, "What can I learn from their success that I can apply to my own situation?" These simple shifts in questioning completely change your mental focus and emotional state. Questions focused on problems and limitations create stress, frustration, and paralysis. Questions focused on solutions and possibilities create excitement, creativity, and action. As you practice abundance awareness, you will begin to notice opportunities that were always there but previously invisible to you. You might realize that a problem you complain about could become a profitable business if you created a solution for it. You might discover that a skill you take for granted could be valuable to others who are willing to pay for it. You might recognize that a relationship you already have could open doors to new opportunities if you approached it differently. This is how many of the world's most successful entrepreneurs got started. They did not wait for perfect opportunities to be handed to them. They trained themselves to see ordinary situations through the lens of possibility and value creation. They acted as if opportunities were everywhere, and this mindset allowed them to discover opportunities that other people missed completely. Ray Kroc, who built McDonald's into a global empire, exemplifies this principle perfectly. When Kroc first encountered the McDonald Brothers restaurant in California, most people saw just another small burger stand. But Kroc acted as if extraordinary opportunities were hiding in plain sight. He looked deeper and saw a revolutionary system for producing consistent, high-quality food quickly and efficiently. More importantly, Kroc saw the potential to franchise this system and help other entrepreneurs build successful businesses while creating massive wealth for himself. He did not just see what the McDonald's restaurant was. He saw what it could become if the right systems, training, and support were put in place. This vision allowed Kroc to act as if success was inevitable, even when he faced years of financial struggle and criticism from people who thought his ideas were impractical. He understood that he was not just selling hamburgers. He was creating a system that would allow thousands of people to achieve financial independence while serving millions of customers around the world. The lesson from Kroc's story is that acting as if money flows naturally requires looking beyond surface appearances to see deeper possibilities. It means asking not just, "What is this?" but, "What could this become?" It means focusing not just on current reality, but on potential that could be developed with the right vision, effort, and persistence. This perspective transforms how you see everything in your life. Your current job is not just a way to pay bills. It is a training ground where you can develop skills, build relationships, and identify opportunities that could lead to much greater success. Your current skills are not just tools for your present situation. They are assets that could be leveraged, combined, or expanded to create new sources of income and value. Even your current challenges and obstacles become opportunities when viewed through the lens of abundance awareness. Every problem you face is a problem that other people also face. If you can create a solution that works for you, you can probably create value for others by sharing that solution. Some of the most successful businesses in history were started by entrepreneurs who turned their personal challenges into profitable solutions for others. This is why successful people often say that their greatest failures became their greatest opportunities. They learned to act as if every setback contained the seeds of a greater comeback. They understood that temporary defeats are not permanent conditions, but information that can guide them toward better strategies and stronger results. Developing this resilient mindset is crucial for long-term financial success because the path to wealth is never smooth or predictable. There will be setbacks, failures, and periods when progress seems impossible. The people who ultimately succeed are those who maintain their abundance consciousness even during difficult times. This requires what I call faith-based action, the ability to continue taking productive steps toward your goals, even when you cannot see immediate results. Faith-based action is not blind optimism or wishful thinking. It is grounded confidence in universal principles that have worked for countless people throughout history. One of these universal principles is that persistent, focused effort always produces results, even if those results are not immediately visible. Another principle is that every action you take toward your goals builds skills, relationships, and momentum that increase your chances of future success. A third principle is that the universe tends to support those who support themselves through consistent, purposeful action. When you truly understand and internalize these principles, you can act as if money flows naturally, even during periods when money is not flowing visibly. You know that your consistent efforts are creating conditions for future abundance, even if current circumstances suggest otherwise. This faith-based approach to wealth building was demonstrated powerfully by Colonel Harlan Sanders, who built the Kentucky Fried Chicken empire after the age of 65. Sanders had failed at multiple businesses and was living on Social Security when he decided to franchise his chicken recipe. He was rejected by more than 1,000 restaurants before finding his first franchisee. Most people would have given up after a dozen rejections, let alone 1,000. But Sanders acted as if his success was inevitable because he knew he had something valuable to offer. He understood that every rejection was simply bringing him closer to the person who would say yes. He maintained his abundance consciousness because his faith was based on the value of his product, rather than the opinions of people who had not yet recognized that value. This story illustrates another crucial aspect of acting as if money flows naturally. Understanding that other people's opinions and reactions do not determine your worth or your potential for success. Many people allow rejection, criticism, or doubt from others to shake their confidence and abandon their dreams. But successful people understand that external validation is not required for internal certainty. When you truly act as if money flows naturally, you do not need other people's permission or approval to believe in your goals and pursue them with full commitment. You understand that some people will support your vision and others will not, and that both responses are normal and expected. You focus on finding the people who do see the value in what you offer, rather than trying to convince those who do not. This selective focus is essential because your time and energy are limited resources that must be invested wisely. Spending time trying to convince skeptics or negative people is time taken away from finding supporters, developing your skills, or creating value for those who appreciate what you offer. Instead, seek out what I call abundance allies, people who share your commitment to growth, success, and contribution. These might be mentors who have achieved what you want to achieve. They might be peers who are on similar journeys and can provide mutual support and accountability. They might be customers or clients who value what you offer and are willing to pay for it. Building a network of abundance allies creates a supportive environment that reinforces your new identity as someone who naturally attracts money. When you surround yourself with people who expect success, celebrate achievement, and focus on possibilities rather than limitations, their mindset becomes your mindset. Their standards become your standards. Their belief in abundance becomes your lived reality. This is why joining mastermind groups, attending success-oriented seminars, and participating in communities of like-minded individuals can accelerate your financial growth dramatically. You are not just learning new strategies and techniques. You are immersing yourself in an environment where abundance consciousness is normal and expected. If you are committed to transforming your relationship with money and building lasting wealth, I strongly encourage you to subscribe to this channel and become part of our community of growth-oriented individuals. We regularly share advanced strategies, inspiring stories, and practical tools that can accelerate your journey to financial freedom. More importantly, you will connect with others who are committed to the same path of growth and abundance. But remember that knowledge without action is worthless. The most important thing you can do right now is to begin implementing the principles we have discussed. Start with small steps that feel manageable, but challenge you to grow beyond your current comfort zone. Choose one limiting belief about money that you are ready to release and replace it with an empowering truth. Commit to reading or listening to content about wealth building for at least 15 minutes every day. Begin saving and investing a specific amount of money every month, even if it is a small amount. Start looking for opportunities to create value for others in ways that could generate income. Most importantly, begin acting as if you are already the person you want to become. Walk with the confidence of someone who knows their success is inevitable. Make decisions from abundance rather than scarcity. Treat challenges as opportunities and setbacks as feedback. Celebrate other people's success as evidence of what is possible for you as well. This transformation will not happen overnight, but it will happen if you remain consistent and committed. Every day that you choose abundance consciousness over scarcity thinking, you strengthen neural pathways that support wealth creation. Every action you take toward your financial goals builds momentum that makes the next action easier and more natural. Remember that the goal is not just to accumulate money, but to become the kind of person who naturally creates value, serves others, and attracts abundance as a byproduct of your contribution to the world. When you achieve this transformation, money becomes not something you chase, but something that flows to you as naturally as water flows downhill. The principles we have explored today are not theory or speculation. They are proven strategies that have created wealth for countless individuals throughout history. The only question is whether you will apply them consistently and persistently until they become your natural way of thinking, feeling, and acting. Andrew Carnegie, John D. Rockefeller, Henry Ford, Benjamin Franklin, Oprah Winfrey, Sam Walton, Ray Kroc, and Colonel Sanders all came from different backgrounds and faced different challenges, but they all shared certain common characteristics. They all believed that success was possible for them. They all focused on creating value for others. They all persisted through setbacks and failures. They all acted as if their success was inevitable, even when circumstances suggested otherwise. Most importantly, they all understood that wealth is not something that happens to you randomly or unfairly. Wealth is something you create through your thoughts, decisions, and actions. It is the natural result of developing yourself into someone who can solve problems, meet needs, and improve the lives of others. This is the mindset shift that changes everything. When you stop seeing yourself as a victim of circumstances and start seeing yourself as the creator of your financial destiny, you begin to act differently. You make different choices. You notice different opportunities. You attract different people and situations into your life. The transformation begins the moment you decide that you are worthy of abundance and committed to doing whatever it takes to achieve your financial goals. It accelerates when you begin acting as if your success is not just possible, but inevitable. It becomes unstoppable when you align your daily actions with your highest vision and maintain that alignment regardless of temporary setbacks or external circumstances. But this journey requires more than just personal effort. It requires understanding the deeper, spiritual, and philosophical principles that govern how abundance flows in the universe. Money is not just a material substance. It is energy that responds to the thoughts, emotions, and intentions of those who seek to attract it. When you approach wealth creation from a place of fear, desperation, or greed, you create resistance that blocks the flow of abundance. When you approach it from a place of love, service, and contribution, you create conditions that naturally attract resources and opportunities. This is why the most successful people are often also the most generous people. They understand that giving and receiving are two sides of the same coin. They know that the more value they create for others, the more value flows back to them. They act as if abundance is infinite because they have experienced the truth that generous people live in an abundant universe. Begin practicing this principle immediately by looking for ways to add value to every interaction you have. When you meet someone new, ask yourself how you can help them achieve their goals or solve their problems. When you do your job, focus not just on completing tasks, but on exceeding expectations and creating positive experiences for others. When you make purchases, choose to support businesses that align with your values and treat their employees well. These small acts of conscious contribution create what I call abundance momentum. Every time you choose to add value rather than extract it, you strengthen your identity as someone who creates abundance rather than consumes it. This shift in identity changes how you show up in the world and how the world responds to you. People begin to see you as a resource rather than a burden. Opportunities begin to flow to you because others know you will use them wisely and beneficially. Money begins to flow naturally because it follows value creation, and you have become someone who consistently creates value wherever you go. This is the ultimate secret of acting as if money flows naturally. It is not about pretending to have money you do not have, or creating false personas that feel inauthentic. It is about becoming genuinely valuable to others, and knowing with absolute certainty that value creation always leads to financial reward. When you truly embody this principle, you never have to worry about money again. Not because your bank account is unlimited, but because your ability to create value is unlimited. Not because you will never face financial challenges, but because you will always have the skills, knowledge, and mindset to overcome those challenges and emerge stronger than before. This is true financial security. It cannot be taken away by economic downturns, industry changes, or unexpected circumstances. It is based not on external conditions, but on internal capabilities that grow stronger with time and experience. As we conclude this journey together, I want to challenge you to make a commitment that will change your life forever. Commit to acting as if money flows to you naturally, starting right now, today, in this moment. Do not wait until you have more money, more knowledge, or more confidence. Begin where you are, with what you have, knowing that your commitment to growth and service will attract everything else you need. Write down your financial goals with absolute clarity and specificity. Create a plan for achieving them that includes daily actions and monthly milestones. Begin saving and investing consistently, even if the amounts seem small. Most importantly, start looking for ways to create value for others that could generate income and build your reputation as someone who delivers results. Remember that every wealthy person started exactly where you are now, with a decision to change their relationship with money and a commitment to doing whatever it takes to achieve their goals. The only difference between those who succeed and those who do not is that successful people maintain their commitment longer and more consistently. You have everything you need to begin this transformation right now. You have the knowledge of proven principles. You have the power to choose your thoughts and actions. You have the ability to create value for others. Most importantly, you have the potential to become someone who naturally attracts abundance by serving others at the highest level. The question is not whether you can achieve financial success. The question is whether you will choose to develop the mindset, habits, and character traits that make financial success inevitable. Will you act as if money flows to you naturally, even before you have evidence that it does? Will you persist through the challenges and setbacks that are inevitable on any worthwhile journey? Will you maintain your commitment to growth and service even when progress seems slow or obstacles seem insurmountable? If you answered yes to these questions, your financial transformation has already begun. Every day from now on, You will make choices that align with your new identity as someone who naturally attracts money through value creation and service to others. Every challenge will become an opportunity to prove your commitment and develop your capabilities. Every success will build momentum for even greater achievements in the future. Before we end, I want to remind you once more to subscribe to this channel if you found this content valuable. We are building a community of individuals who are committed to personal growth, financial success, and making a positive impact on the world. Your subscription not only helps you continue learning and growing, but it also helps us reach more people who can benefit from these life-changing principles. Also, I encourage you to share your progress and insights in the comments below. Tell us about the limiting beliefs you are releasing, the new habits you are developing, and the opportunities you are beginning to notice. Your story might be exactly what someone else needs to hear to begin their own transformation. Remember that transformation is not a destination, but a journey. There will always be new levels of growth, new challenges to overcome, and new ways to serve others and create value. The key is to embrace this journey with excitement and commitment, knowing that every step forward makes you stronger, wiser, and more capable of achieving your dreams. Money will flow to you naturally, not because you wish it would, not because you deserve it more than others, but because you have become the kind of person who consistently creates value for others and expects abundance as the natural result of that service. This is the ultimate truth about wealth creation, and it is available to anyone who is willing to embrace it fully and live it consistently. Your journey to financial freedom begins now. Act as if money flows to you naturally, and watch as this belief transforms into your lived reality. The abundant life you desire is not only possible, it is inevitable when you align your thoughts, emotions, and actions with the universal principles that govern wealth creation. The choice is yours. The power is within you. The time is now. Begin acting as if money flows to you naturally, and prepare to be amazed by the transformation that follows. Champions, your mind has been forged a little stronger today, but the real test isn't what you learned, it's what you do with it. Take action, dominate your day, and remember, we're not just building better thoughts, we're forging unstoppable lives. The forge doesn't stop, and neither do you. If this episode hit you where it counts, subscribe to Mental Forge Academy and join the Brotherhood of Champions who refuse to settle for ordinary. Go transform, strike while the mind is hot.